Hi everyone, today I'm doing Tuesday's tips again. What I've got is I'm going to just do a painting with palette knife basically. Just straight palette knife. I've got two different kinds of palette knife there that I'm going to be using for this demo. I had a subscriber asking if I'd do a painting from start to finish with a palette knife, so I'm going to give it a go. See you all soon. First things first, I'm just going to mix myself a colour here for the sky. So I'm going to use some black. Small amount of black. I'm going to mix enough for both the sky and the water. I'm going to use some blue, phthalo blue, and alizarin crimson. A good amount of alizarin in there. See what that turns out like. Just going to mix that. I like to mix the paint always with this knife, just this one. But what I'm going to do also, I'm just going to use this knife to put some of this alkyd flow medium into it, because it'll help me work the paint a little bit better. So I'm just going to get some of that on my palette and I'll show you myself mixing it, because it's not always the easiest thing to mix. You don't need tons of the stuff, just a little bit, you'll see. Wipe that off on a towel. Always have a lot of paper towels there to work from, especially when you're working with these mediums. See in there? Just mix that with the oil paint. Mix it good. See that, and it'll make it nice and thin, really thin. Clean off the knife. I want to mix it well though. What I can do is I need to check it as well, because I think from looking at that I've got a bit too much crimson. I'm going to grab some more phthalo blue. There. Just add some more phthalo blue to it. Mix it good and proper. And it will make the paint slightly thinner, but it'll give it a gloss finish, you see, instead of a dull matte finish. So wipe the knife off. It's a good idea to keep yourself as clean as possible when you're doing these, because it can get really messy when you're painting with the knife. Now I just want to mix up some of that dark blue over here with the white. So I'm going to grab some titanium white. I'm going to push it over and mix it into that. There. And this is a smaller knife I'm using for this. Just a smaller knife. There. Some of what I wanted, something like. So I'm just going to get some white. Straight titanium white. And with that white, I'm just going to start putting a bit of titanium white up in here. And I can apply some colour to it as well, you see. Blends nice with the knife, I know that, because I do love using the knife. I just never really used it for doing a sky or anything of that nature. It's going to be a good learning curve for me. I'm really looking forward to doing this. See already, it's like butter. It's like you're moulding butter. Right, so I'm going to get some more white. Obviously I want it to be whiter on the horizon, so I'm going to put some white in there. Got a bit of a light spot just in that area, so I want it to have a bit of colour as it comes away from that, you see. So I want it light in that spot, and then as I come away from that, I'm going to want it to get darker and darker. So I still want to use a little bit of the light in them spots. In fact, it's looking like we're going to need more titanium, so I might as well do that now. the edges. I'm just going to mix some more white just there with a little bit of that blue. See what that looks like. Mix it well with this knife, you see. See how it's marbled at the moment? The more you mix it, the better it'll become. It'll just become one neat colour, and that's what I want. So, something about like that. And then I can grab that with a small knife, pick it up, and then just on these edges, start working some of that colour in there. A bit lighter towards the horizon yet again. It does go on very different to a brush, there's no doubt. You can really get it mixing with it well. I think that's the key from just starting like this, doing a sky. It's just having the patience to mix it properly. It's like cream cheese, really smooth, or butter or something like that. And then I'm going to grab some more of that and then put that up in there. And once you've got it in there, you can just like mush it into both sides. Into that top corner. Oops. You end up with little holes and stuff that you have to fill in. Totally different to what I've done before for skies. It's nice though. Again though, I'm going to have to mix some more of that white up with some of this. Mix it up nice and light in there. I know I just knew I was going to need a lot more paint. Just over in here, I've got a bit of that blue on there, so I can just allow that to mix with that white first of all. In there. Once it's mixed slightly with it, it looks like you can just mush it wherever you want it. Once you've got the sort of tone that you're after. I want it just a bit bluer there. On that edge. So even if you pull a bit of darker colour into it, it doesn't matter because you can just blend it out nicely. Fill in the little holes. See like there you've got a dead line. So easy, just wipe your knife off and you can actually go back into that and blend it together nicely. I want a few like things on the horizon as well. It's like stringy clouds. We're going to put some clouds in and stuff. So that's going to be quite exciting as well. Just up in here, I want to put some in. All the time I'm leaving that light spot, trying to just keep it as light as possible at the moment. I've always enjoyed using the knives though. You see in a lot of my other demos and instructional videos that I've done where I'm using the knife a lot for boulders and rocks. Where I come from in Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, it's well, limestone country very close by, as you saw in the Malham video that I did. Gorgeous countryside around this part of the world. Gorgeous nature everywhere, even in cities it's to be found. When I went to Copenhagen, beautiful green city. Never expected it, to be honest with you, to be so beautiful. Wonderful architecture as well, some really creative architecture there. Now, the way I'm looking at this, I've got a lot of clouds that I want to put in there. So I'm going to get some more white, just straight white this time. I'm going to just put some of that in, just in there. Just for that light spot. Just in here I want to mix it together a little bit more. See that you can go from dark to light if you do it like I was just doing it there. That's what I was trying to get, where you just mix it over and over and then slowly bring it into the light area. That's it. So in there again I can mix some of that nice colour. Let it all mix together. Yes, some proper depth with this as well. Good. Clean off the knife again. Do the same in there. Allow that to just mix a bit more with that light all the way around. You have to wipe your knife off all the time while you're doing this. Just work it. Now I know that I'm going to have some clouds in there, for sure. So what I'm going to use a bit of a darker colour for that. I've never done a cloud before with a knife. So again, I'm into another challenge. So I think I've got a big cloud coming in from up here, and it's like a shadowed cloud. Mix it with that colour again underneath. Quite a big old shadowed cloud that's coming in from here. I'm just using the knife to just apply some colour first. Darker in the centre. You'll keep running out of paint, so don't worry about that, just keep reloading. You can just allow it to mix in there. Right through. Maybe just a little bit over here as well. Well, I've got that colour on my knife, I'm just going into that light area again, and I'm just going to pull some little stringy clouds. I'm going to do it like that, just with that colour, just in there. Rub. Just going to use my other knife. I know I can control this one a tiny bit better. There. Some little stringy clouds in the horizon. Maybe that's why I like to use the two knives, because between the two I can always get the effect that I want. It's just that I know I use this one a lot more regular than the other, you see. I'm just going to use a clean knife again and go back into here. Maybe I want to actually use it this way this time. See if I can get used to that. I just want to put a little end on that. So there's just a bit of something going on. There. Again I did at the base, didn't I? Just like that. So I can do it with that side. Blend that up maybe a bit more. Try and get some shapes on top. I've always liked with knife painting is that texture that you get. You get a really wonderful texture when you're doing this. There. And just then clouds there, blend over that slightly. Always just again keep, like I always say, step back, have a good look. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Clean that off. And again, it's like I need a bit more white. You're going to need quite a bit of titanium white for this by the looks of it. Because it goes on very thick when you're doing it, so you do use a lot more paint than you would if you were just doing a wet on wet painting. You don't seem to use that much paint actually when you're doing wet on wet. You really don't. Right, again, good mix of that. And then along the horizon, just up in here, we've got some of this lighter stuff, but it actually goes up into there. Underneath that cloud, just some dark. In fact, might be able to mix it better with the other knife. See, they've all got the purposes. This one seems to blend up nice like so. Yeah, that's it. I can just allow that to fizzle out just a tiny bit. Going in between the two now. A little stringy one just coming from that part. Yeah, that's theirs. It sure is fun painting with a knife like this. And the sky is probably going to be the hardest thing for you to do as well, so that didn't take too much, so did it? Quite simple really. Make sure you work it well enough in here and keep it light so that you can have the contrast with these clouds in there. We get a bit of titanium white. Just for now though, I'm going to use a clean knife. I'm just going to allow that to blend with the lighter colour that's underneath slightly. Just in there, a little bit of white. Struggling a bit is that part. Just a bit of a light into it, you see. I want it lighter on the horizon, as usual, as it mostly is in nature. That's something like what I wanted. Use a clean knife when you're coming back in to like blend this together. I'm happy with that. Right, so I'm thinking of having some little distant mountains rolling through there. Now, In fact no, I'm not happy with this. I'm just going to come in and have a little mess about with it. So you can pick up some of that colour still, like I just had there. And it were a bit too dark as well, so actually go back in there and create some new little tops, just so it's a bit lighter, not quite as dark, and then use that colour over in there. That's it. Something about like so. Something just going on underneath it. Try like that. That's working. So now I'm just going to block in for this mountain ridge that I've got. Now I'm just going to use some of this colour I've just used, which is a bit lighter. I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to add some of this really dark colour to that, because I want it to be like in the middle ground there. So I don't want it just the dark, I want it to have some of that in there as well. And then I probably need some more white as well with that. So I'm going to grab a lot of white, get some white and put it in there. Mix it up well, really well. Just want to check that out now on canvas, see how it looks. Right. Right, so I can just up in here. The little mountain part that's going up just near that edge. You don't need this to be too thick at this stage. You can have it by flattening it with the knife like that. You can have it quite thin. You don't have to have it really thick at this stage. It does get thick eventually though. Just in there. Put a little bit coming through. Now leave that light area in there. So that'll have a lovely contrast against what you're doing here. Let that come right through. So it comes up here and then it goes down. You learn to pick the paint up and put it back down again through practice. See, like from there. Now, this one actually comes through and has a little bump on it just there. I like to get the shape of these spot on. I don't want to come no lower than this point. I want to put a little water line for myself all the way along, just a dark water line so I can see where that's going to finish, like that. Cool, because what happens, you see, it goes right down here. And then actually works its way back up again to a higher point. Somewhere about there. Pull that colour down. I'm really going to work hard to try do it all with the knife every last little bit of this. A bit of a challenge, like I said, for myself. No brushes, just the knife. So basically I'm learning as I go with this. Because I've had experience with a knife, that's why I felt brave enough to just go for it and have a try.